Hello, people of YouTube. It's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 24th of January 2026. I hope you all enjoyed that video all about the fantastic Ventores community mod for the SU-22-M4. I had a lot of fun flying that bad boy around, and I will almost certainly do additional videos in the future about the weapons and the navigational systems. But, if you are a Phantom enjoyer, don't worry, that series is continuing. I will be continuing to demonstrate how that bad boy works, with the next thing being aerial gunnery, which is good fun in the Phantom. Welcome to the stream, Tea Kettle Barbecue. You were first. Robbie Hobby, Blood Knock 66, Osprey, welcome. Haven't won the Herc yet. Pink Floyd, welcome. Contuka? Contuka? I'm learning slowly. Let me adjust my text size so it's easier for me to read these. Patatokos, hello. James Fenton, interesting story. Byron, SHD. Tog, hello. Danny Bennett, Jeff Meisman, Mangash, Golden Gnu, MC Hawks, Eagle Wings, and Zathras. Everybody, welcome to the stream. Very nice to have you aboard. If you haven't already, please like that smash button, as they say. Subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. If you want to further support the channel, you have the option of joining Deepak's ground crew. I'll talk more about that later by clicking the join button below. And also, there is still a Pimax discount available to you. If you're looking to purchase a Pimax headset, you can use code DEEPAK at checkout to receive, I think it's currently 2% discount on various bits and bobs. So, go and check that out. Hello, Paul Dillon. Onibilos, Yeti, hello. I see new infantry and CA2. Indeed. All manner of fun stuff. So this week we've got a couple of dev updates, and then actually the SU-22 mod that I was just showing off was actually released about half an hour ago. So we'll take a little look at the trailer for that as well. So much excitement to be had tonight. Stay tuned. Don't change that channel. So here we are, the Eagle Dynamics newsletter, as we always start. Dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, since the DCS Mig-29A Fulcrum early access release, we focused on refining sensors and navigation, improving radar, infrared search and track performance, and finalizing ground attack modes and weapons. We also continue to add some highly detailed features to the external model and cockpit. Based on community reports and pilot testimony, we've also improved the SPU 15LM, radar behavior, and more. Please read below. Last week, Matt Wags Wagner released an instruction video on the operation of the radar and infrared search and track cooperative mode. We actually covered that last week. It was a very instructional video. The next Fulcrum instruction video will be on the track while scan feature mode, coming soon, which is very, very exciting. I actually didn't even realize that the MiG-29 in fact had such a feature. Now, I'm going to very quickly do something technical because the battery in my headset just chirped at me and let me know that it's running out. So luckily, that doesn't really make any difference for you guys because my microphone is not part of my headset, but it means that I'm fiddling around with the side of my head for a moment in a very unprofessional fashion, but I've done it. I've done a quick battery swap live on air. Channel Right, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Heatblur Simulations recently shared an early look at work in progress on the DCS A-6E radar, including the terrain clearance mode. This is a key capability for the Intruder, and the team is steadily bringing it to life, focusing on authenticity, usability, and the kind of low-level confidence that defines the aircraft's all-weather strike role. Time is running out to receive 40,000 ED miles, worth $40 US in the DCS eShop when you buy the new Crystal Super Micro OLED VR headset. Go to pimax.com and use the code DCS40K by the end of February the 6th to claim yours. Thank you for your passion and support. So, yes, the folks at Eagle also doing some Pimax codes. The Pimax people are very up on the marketing just now. I actually have been working on doing some content. Pimax very, very kindly sent me a Crystal Super, but unfortunately I've been unable to get OBS to record any content through it. That's something I'm still struggling with. So having technical issues, but you should expect, once I can actually manage to figure out how to record content on the headset, that I will do some videos on that soon. Darth Pirate, welcome. Tog, yes. Open headset surgery live on YouTube. This is the kind of content you tune into this channel for. We're not just here to talk about flight sims, we're also here to watch me make mistakes, which is very good fun. So, yep, big shout out to everybody watching, and a quick reminder, subscribe, like, and comment. Anyway, let's jump straight into the development update for the Mig-29A Fulcrum. Since the release of the DCS Mig-29A, the team is focused mainly on correcting errors and improving the sensors and systems, including the radar and IRST suite, as well as the ground attack weapons and delivery modes. We're also refining the operation of the FCR and IRST in co-op mode and fixing errors in INS and navigation modes. After the initial release of the DCS Mig-29, we received some excellent community feedback pertaining to the limitations of the SPO-15LM that did not align with pilot testimony. In particular, the inability to receive signals in the forward hemisphere while the onboard radar is transmitting. Funnily enough, this is what Ventores was talking about just a few weeks back, as I recall. In fact, I see Ventores is in the chat right now. What happened to my headset? The battery in my headset ran out. I'm using a wireless headset. The thing is, I'm not actually listening to anything other than myself. I'm just using this wireless headset as a monitor for my own audio. So, yeah, it's kind of pointless, but hey. I want to be able to monitor the quality of my voice. So where did we get to? We reevaluated the technical document. That's a really hard word for a Scotsman to say. Reevaluated. There we go. I was better on the second attempt. Reevaluated the technical documentation and analysed signals from the NO-19 pulse Doppler radar to the SPO-15LM, and we determined that while full synchronization is not possible due to hardware limitations, the actual blocking logic is software controlled. The full report is available here. Since the report was released, we have received additional pilot testimony and training materials that are being analysed. We've made certain improvements to the simulation, like the ability to force the SPO-15LM launch warnings for specific combinations of threat types and their operating mode, via the DTC interface. Additionally, several immediate issues were fixed, and the radar parameter database was updated, with the most notable changes being the Rapucha and Tu-95 radar reception. Yeah, yes, John Bluer. It's almost like Ventores knows what he's talking about. Channel Right, what do you speculate will be in the 2026 and beyond video? I think, now you're asking me. What are we going to see? I'm really hopeful that we're going to see the Mirage F1M. I'm very hopeful we're going to see some Eurofighter. If we're very good boys and girls, maybe we'll see some F-15C and F-35. What else? I don't know. F10... Is it F100? No, F100. Sorry. I'm not sure. John Bluer, I think you're actually listening to a Nick Gray ASMR playlist while you do this. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wouldn't that be pleasant? Yeah. Anyway. Current tasks. Development of the concept for the command radio control line. This is going to be quite cool, actually. Refinement of the logic for data processing and updating in the track while scan feature. Refinement of the sensitivity of the photodetector for the RST. The art team continues to improve the cockpit elements and exterior models, as well as the pilot model. This includes service hatches, more detailed countermeasures dispensers, more detailed leading edge extension intakes, and new liveries. We're adding new models of missile rails and a dual bomb rack. Once the external model is finalized, the template will be made available. As resource becomes available, we plan to refine the automatic control system and also improve the IFF, which sounds very cool indeed. Pink Floyd, going to be some F104 love in the video. Yeah, a couple of people saying that. Something we'll probably get in 2028. Interesting story asking about the A7. We haven't heard much about the A7. And SHD wants to see a Whiskey Cobra. Well, that would be pleasant, wouldn't it? How many of you, chat, by the way, have the Fulcrum? And if you do, what's your impression of it? I do have it. I've not flown it a lot, but I have flown it, and I rather enjoy it. Also, I had a question for Ventores. What was my question for Ventores again? Oh yeah, the liveries that are included. I don't know if there were additional ones added to 1.0, but in the 0.9 version, which is what I was flying in that video just there was a great selection of liveries. I should have actually shown them off. I will in a future video. There's a number of really, really good liveries. Do you make those yourself? And yeah, I just was curious about the liveries. I thought they were very, very good. Lots did photoshopping the flyer, but opinions are split in the bottom if there is a Rafale or an F-35. I've actually not seen all variations of this shot that I shared with you all in my Discord. So there has been this picture, we're going to come to that shortly, that Eagle Dynamics have been distributing, telling us that we're going to get the 2026 and beyond video on the 30th of January. Now, of course, the 30th of January is a Friday. That means that on the 31st of January, I will be discussing that video. And hopefully I'll have some additional people on board to discuss it with me. Details to follow. So that would be most exciting. Ventores, Rob Sonic made most of them. Well, big shout out to that person as well, because really, really nice liveries. The interior is great, the exterior is great, and the liveries are really, really nice. Everybody should jump out and fly the Su-22 M4. It's free, so there's no reason not to. Jeff Meisman, Fulcrum handles phenomenal with an F instead of a PH. It's a really great handling aircraft, and I like the detail in the cockpit. I think they've done a good job with the cockpit modelling in the Fulcrum. So I'm going to take a wee swig of my water, and I'll take a look at the chat, and then we'll move on. Paul Dillon, Tornado would be nice. Oh, we've hardly heard anything about the Tornado in a while. It would seem that it is still under development, but not really had much in the way of updates. Sometimes that means that things are going very well. So, perhaps no news is good news. We'll see. Pink Floyd, he's such a Tornado hater. True, the F-111 is very, very cool. And we do have a community mod for the F-111 now as well, which I may cover at some future date. But come on, in Europe, in most of NATO, we've got a lot of love for the Tornado. It's a cool plane. Okay, moving on. We have a dev report for the Heatblur A-6E and the terrain clearance mode. Now, we did actually cover the post about this last week, but this is also turning up in the newsletter now. So, Heatblur Simulations is proud to share some work in progress on the DCS A-6E's radar and terrain clearance mode. Since we're not blessed with the eyes of a chameleon, the Bombardier Navigator's radar display and the pilot's analog display indicator have been combined into a single debug window that allows us to see them side by side, along with the terrain outside the cockpit for comparison. Please note that the cockpit model is a placeholder and does not represent the final product. Now, actually, we had this exact same text last week, so I think I'm kind of repeating myself here, but in any case, it's worth going over. F-111 is a superior bird, says Tog. How dare you? They're both very, very nice. I'm sure we can all agree they're both very nice. Eagle Wings, I'm curious, is Heatblur recent update news on the A6 Intruder about work on the AI version, or are they working on the full fidelity already? They are working on the full fidelity. It may be some time before we get it, but it is actively being developed at this time. Osprey, we need a late version. Jag. I would very much enjoy that. The early ones are a little bit limited and underpowered. I would still take one, but the later ones are nice. With that you get like a little multifunction display and a UFC and INS and all kinds of fancy stuff. Okay, so Please note the cockpit model is a placeholder and does not represent the final product. In the included example, the radar is in the terrain clearance mode. That restricts the display to 8.5 nautical miles and the minimum scan angle to 60 degrees. The radar's primary purpose is to drive the ADI display in this mode. During normal flight, the pilot's ADI is similar to the F-14 Tomcat's VDI. However, when TC mode is selected, it displays a 53 degree by 26 degree pictorial representation of the terrain ahead of the aircraft based on the data supplied by the radar. On the ADI, we see the black horizon line and fiducial markers that help mark our pitch and bank attitude. In the center of the steering symbol in the center are the steering symbol and flight path lines, currently locked to the aircraft heading. Behind this symbology are displayed 10 discrete bands, each representing a range contour from 0.25 nautical miles out to 8.5 nautical miles. Bands 1 and 7 are permanently coded with range coding bars for identification, while bands 3 to 6 may be selected for coding. That is, to display the vertical black bars based on pilot input. In the example below, the pilot has selected band 4. So I guess this is you basically selecting what level of clearance you want from the terrain, and then you would fly your selected band, which is kind of cool. Oh, Zatharus, I would like to hear something about the Peace Pearl. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, Deca Ironworks, they've been pretty quiet for some time, which is a shame because, their JF-17 is fantastic. A really good module. For their very first module, amazing work. Absolutely amazing work. So hopefully we will hear something from them. So yeah, the pilot maintains clearance over the terrain by flying the aircraft so that the offset impact bar, the black and green fixed near the bottom of the screen, is situated above one of the coded bands, 3 to 6. The selected band determines the clearance height and smoothness of the ride. Finally, at the bottom of the screen is the dark green altitude curtain. This moves up and down the screen relative to the horizon line to represent the radar altitude. Its range is not linear and does not correspond to the terrain contour bands, but serves as a visual guide to aid piloting. Actually somewhat similar to the kind of indications you get in the Viggen, in fact. More symbology remains to be added, but hopefully this demonstration gives some insight into the progress on the rather unique feature of the A-6E Intruder. More screenshots here. And here we go. So yeah, this is basically what we saw last week. However, if we jump across here, I think these are new shots. And as tends to be the case with heat blurs stuff, this is stunning exterior work. Absolutely stunning. Just look at that. It's got its engine plugs in and everything. Yeah, that's it from the front. I gotta say, chat, tell me what you think. I'm rather excited for this. I will definitely fly the Intruder. This is that kind of era that I am into. You've got quite a bit of tech, but at the same time, it's an older school aircraft as well. Takes a bit of management and multi-crew. Actually, since the Viggen, this is kind of Heat Blur's thing, doing the multi-crew, because of course, they've done the F-14 and the Phantom now, both two-seaters. So the Intruder is just another in their line of fantastic multi-crew aircraft. And we also have some shots for the updates that are coming for the Fulcrum external model, which is pretty damn cool. We've got a lot of pipes, which is good to see. And some Cyrillic. Harm missile capable, says Max Power. SHD Intruder is a day one purchase. Pink Floyd, yep, looking forward to the A6. Sean I Am 81, howdy, I can't wait to fly downtown. Yeah, same, to be honest, same. I wonder, imagine if they did actually manage to get Willem Dafoe to voice the Wizzo. I know that's not going to happen, but still, just imagine. Byron's saying amazing, but for me, I prefer the single seat A7 for the win. Well, takes all types. We'll all eventually get what we want, maybe. Okay, some coffee and drinking, then I'll continue. Alrighty. So, moving on, Eagle Dynamics is also running a Pimax promotion. They've actually mentioned this one in the past, so I'll just kind of skim over it quickly. But it is a really good deal. You can get 40,000 bonus ED miles with the new Crystal Super Micro OLED. This is equivalent to $40 US, and all you have to do is use code DCS40K at checkout, and then they're going to send you a special code that you can use in the Pimax. No, not in the Pimax store, in the ED store, for that matter. Interesting story. Only have dollars for A6 or A7, so whatever comes first. AI could easily do a Defoe. Well, you know, yeah, is that going to be okay, though? Are they going to get sued if they do that? Marvellous. Okie dokie. So moving on, we've already kind of covered it, but here is the fantastic release trailer for the SU-22 M4 mod by Ventores. I'm not actually going to play the audio. Sorry, there's music, and I don't know if it's copyrighted or not, but here we go. Thank you very much, Frantic Stone. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the stream. Here's a nice free aircraft for you to fly in DCS if you would like. Thank you very much indeed for the contribution. And yeah, member for 39 months. Our boy Frantic Stone is a long-standing ground crew member. Keep in mind, you can click that join button below if you want to join the ground crew, or if you don't want to spend any money, just click subscribe, or like, or comment, or do all of them. All of these things are a big help to the channel. Oh, here's some backwards firing guns. Check out these pods. They're coming up in just a minute. They're really cool. Yep, there we go. For when you want to overfly the target and then daka it from above. Really fantastic. Some nice flying here as well, and some afterburner action. This is Polish skins on this bad boy this time. And we've also got the flashies. I think this is the recon pod that can deploy these kind of flash bomb things. Oh, here we are. We're in the Middle East now with some fancy Syrian Air Force. No, is that Iraq? Maybe. Well, actually, I'm probably misidentifying my flags here. Probably making a fool of myself. Anyway, really cool skin for this aircraft here. And that's the fancy Eland pod screen, which is nice to see. Hurling anti-radiation missiles. Does the display work in the release version? Asks Pink Floyd. You mean the TV display? My understanding is no, it does not. Not yet. Oof. That is a lot of destruction. And a lot of rockets. Lots of rockets, lots of guns. Perfect for some old school ground pounding. And it flies great. Really quite easy to fly. Really nice aircraft. Yeah. It's a bomb truck that can land on a carrier. Yes, indeed. Oh, and here we go. Here's a bunch of Soviet-era aircraft all flying together. I always like that flutter in the Fulcrum's bypass doors. Yeah. Dropping big bombs too, doing a lot of damage. Some great shots in this one. SU-22 M4 mod out now. From Ventores. Fantastic. And my understanding is that this is pretty much the same as the version I was flying. There are only minor changes between 0.9 and 0.1. So yeah, here we go. This is the post that Ventores put into the Eagle Dynamics forums. Version 1.0 is out now. This is by far one of my biggest modding projects, and after over a year of work, I finally feel it's good enough to be released. Note that a lot of it is still work in progress, as I'm still learning modding stuff, so expect bugs. Mod features FC3-based clickable cockpit with some systems modeled, like custom navigation or ELIN system. Everything you need to know is in the manual that comes with the mod. The manual is actually excellent. It's really, really well put together. So go and check that out. And he also has a Discord link here as well. And you have the option to support his work at buycoffee.to. So consider doing that if you like what he's created here. Very, very nice stuff. Eagle Wings, amazing work coming from mod developer Mr. Ventores has done a great job with the SU-22 M4. I agree, very much so. So that's actually pretty much all the news that we have for this week. It's a fairly light week. Next week, however, we're going to have the 2026 and beyond video to talk about, and that's going to be a big one. So get ready for next week. It'll probably be a longer DCS news stream next week, but don't disappear just yet. We're not done just yet. As we often do, we have a moment to pimp the VAF, and also I'm going to have a little mention about the Deep Hacks ground crew. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, the VAF, or the Virtual Air Force, is a virtual online squadron originally started by myself and Dot Chuckles many moons ago. We currently fly the Harrier, the F-16 and the F-18, and we're generally flying on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays at about, I think it's 8 p.m. UK time. We're based in EU time zones. Most of us are in Europe. And we're always looking for more pilots, air traffic controllers, mission makers, scripters, livery makers, and so on. So everybody's welcome to join. There is a Discord link in the show notes below. Go and click on that if you want to jump in and take a peek. Everybody is welcome, whether you fly with us or not. That's the VAF, or the Virtual Air Force. Bread and circuses, says British Dragon. I don't know what that means. So, yes, that's well worth a peek. As I said before, big shout out to everybody who has already joined Deep Hack's ground crew. Thank you very, very much indeed. We have quite a number of people in Deep Hack's ground crew now, mostly thanks to Tea Kettle Barbecue. Thank you very much for your support, sir. You have the option of joining Deep Hack's ground crew for a small monthly fee, about the cost of a cup of coffee per month. It really helps me support me in making this kind of content. If you like the DCS news and the tutorials that I create, I am still running a series on the Phantom, which will continue soon. Then go ahead and click that join button. But if you can't afford to, you also have the option of subscribing. And also keep in mind, if you're interested in buying a Pimax headset anytime soon, I still have the discount code DEEPHACK, which you can use at checkout in the Pimax store. So take a little peek at that. Osprey, are you flying tomorrow? Is it tomorrow that we have the ground crew flyout? Ooh, I had actually not looked at the events recently. Let's take a peek. Yes, it's showing us tomorrow. That being the case, yes, we will fly tomorrow. Fantastic. So yeah, that's basically everything that we have for this week. I've been Deep Hack. Every week I generally create some kind of video, normally a tutorial, that goes live at about 6:30 p.m. UK time. Next week it will be a video about the Phantom, and that's always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. Thank you all very much for watching. Fly safe, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.